250 years.
A long road for a nation, and we're still walking it together. And 250 candles burning in the dark since a spark in Philadelphia lit a rebel heart. Farmers took a musket, said we'll stand or fall, a fragile little promise written for us all. From frozen lines at Valley Forge to a brand new flag unfurled, a dream began to whisper to a watching world. 250 years of freedom in the wind, through the fire and the doubt we rise again. Every scar tells a story of the price we paid for the right to stand proud and unafraid. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years. There were days when the country nearly tore apart, brother against brother with a shattered heart. Fields turned into battlefields, hope hanging by a thread, praying that the Union wasn't already dead. But the better angels whispered through the pain, and we stitched a broken promise back again. 250 years of freedom in the wind, through the fire and the doubt we rise again. Every scar tells a story of the price we paid for the right to stand proud and unafraid. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years. From the beaches of Normandy to a rocket in the sky, from a march across a bridge to one small step nearby, every generation writes another line in the story of a dream that still survives. 250 years and the flag still flies, carried by the brave who gave their lives for the hope that every soul can stand up free in the land of possibility. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years of freedom here. 250 years. And the story's still being written.
Fans, thank you for tuning in to Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs baseball. I'm Pete Pagliaro, bringing you all the action here tonight as the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs face off against the Oneonta Outlaws. First, let's go through the lineups for the visitors. Batting first is number 24, Chaz Wright. Batting second is Nolan Stark. Batting third, number 10, is Vincent Duffy. PJ Strand is batting fourth. Stephen Clark, number 1, batting fifth, followed by number 17, Matthew Mayer. Number 46 is Aussie Maslow. Number 7 is Blake Fortunato. Number 34 is Alex Venenzia. And number 3 is Gus Simon. On the mound tonight for the Outlaws, number 6 is Zachary Rowe. For the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, at second base tonight, center field is number 28, Colin Richter. In right field is number 4, Jake Hardy. The second baseman is number 17, Byron Arias. The DH is number 19, Brody Frecker. First baseman is number 9, Connor Scanlon. And left field is number 35, Jake Dolan. Catching tonight for the Dogs is number 34, Joe Crenshaw. And at shortstop is number 27, Ryan Payne. And tonight's third baseman for the Dogs, number 21, Harsh Ramayana Venkat. On tonight for Mohawk Valley, number 31 is Brandon Lynn. So Brandon Lynn on the mound taking his warm-up tosses. The Dogs come in at 14-14. Had a off day yesterday, and they won in Glens Falls the night before. For Oneonta, 9-15 on the season, so they are looking for a win as well after beating the Utica Blue Sox yesterday. So with Brandon Lynn taking his last few warm-up tosses, coming to the plate for Oneonta will be Chaz Wright, batting first, followed by Nolan Stark, and then Vincent Duffy. So for Wright hitting 273 on the season, Stark a 325 hitter. Meanwhile, Vincent Duffy 382 with 1 home run. A warm day here in Vets Memorial Park tonight for this ball game. As we get to the mid-July point, only 7 games left for the Dogs at home. And so Brandon Lynn all done with his warm-up tosses, and the first player coming to the plate for Oneonta is number 24, Chaz Wright. Oneonta wearing their grays tonight, gray tops, gray bottoms, red lettering on the numbers, and black sleeves. For the Dogs, the hunter green tops with the white pants. So here's Chaz Wright, the second baseman. He's hitting 273 is Wright. Bats from the left side, and he's ready to go here to face Brandon Lynn as we have the first pitch here tonight. And the first pitch called strike, and we are off and running here with the Oneonta Outlaws and the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. So Chaz Wright, the batter, ready to face Lynn. Here's pitch number 2. And that one catches the outside corner, and quickly the count 0-2 now to Chaz Wright, the second baseman. Wright steps back into the box, ready to go to face Lynn. Lynn looks in, he's a righty, and he's going to wind and deliver. And that's fouled off by Wright, and that brings the count to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. Again, Chaz Wright, Nolan Stark, and Vincent Duffy all due up here in the top of the first inning for the Outlaws. Flag blowing out currently in center field. 0-2 pitch from Brandon Lynn is on the way. And that one misses high and outside for ball 1, and the count 1-2. Nice warm day here in Little Falls on this Thursday evening before we head into the weekend. Dogs looking to keep the winning ways going as they won the other night in Glens Falls. There's a strike 3. As it's a drop 3, he's going to throw over to first to get the out. So Nolan Stark, the center fielder, will now come to the plate for Oneonta. Stark hitting 325 on the season, and he is a left-handed batter as well. So lefty versus righty here with Brandon Lynn on the mound. Stark is ready to go. And so is Lynn with the windup and the pitch. It's high, and the count 1-0. One ball, no strikes to the center fielder, Nolan Stark. Lynn gets his side from his catcher, and now will wind and deliver. And that is pot fouled on the third base line. The count now 1-1 to Stark. Stark, the center fielder for the Outlaws. Outlaws arriving here tonight a little after 5 o'clock. Took some infield, did not take any batting practice here at Little Falls. Here's the 1-1. And there's a called strike 2. It catches the bottom portion of the plate. 1-2 now the count to Nolan Stark. Stark again hitting .325 on the season for Oneonta. 1-2 pitch on its way. And it's fouled off here behind us in the count 1-2 to Stark. Goodson Duffy is on deck for Oneonta here in the top of the first. No score, so just second batter of the game in Nolan Stark. And he is facing a 1-2 count here with 1 out. Lynn looks in, picks up a sign from his catcher, is ready to go. Here's the windup and the pitch. Outside corner call, strike 3, and that catches Nolan Stark for out number 2. So Vincent Duffy, the catcher, now will come to the plate for Oneonta. Duffy, number 10 for Oneonta. And he is hitting .382 with 1 home run on the season for Oneonta. And this will be the first right-handed batter we'll see here tonight in the lineup thus far, as both Chaz Wright and Nolan Stark were lefties. So finally a righty versus righty matchup with Brandon Lynn on the mound. And Lynn delivers the ball for a strike. The count 0-1 to Duffy. And Duffy hitting .382. He's got 1 dinger on the season as he steps in here to face Lynn for pitch number 2. And there's a swing and a miss by Duffy, and the count quickly 0-2 now. Ahead of the count is Lynn, looking for 1 more strike here to end this inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Lynn if he can get Duffy here. 0-2. Lynn looks in. And now he sets and will wind and deliver on the 0-2 pitch. Here it is. And that one misses outside. 1-2 as Duffy holds off, pulls back on that pitch, and the count now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Duffy. DJ Strand on deck for Oneonta. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up into the air. Right fielder coming fast. And he makes the grab to end the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Oneonta. And we remain scoreless as we head to the bottom of the first.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule. At participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
And we are back, and leading things off for the Dogs is Colin Richter. He's going to face Zachary Rowe. Rowe is a lefty. He's going to face the lefty here in Colin Richter, the center fielder for the Dogs. And Richter hitting .333 on the season. He's going to face Zachary Rowe with a 3.42 ERA. And the bottom of the first, here we go, and here's the first pitch from Rowe. And that one misses for ball one. And the count 1-0 to Colin Richter. Again, Richter is the center fielder tonight for the Dogs. Hitting .333, it'll be Colin Richter, Jake Hardy, and Byron Arias. 1, 2, 3 in the order here. Here's the pitch. That's followed off by Richter, the count 1-1. As Richter steps out. And will make his way back into the box to face Zachary Rowe. Rowe is ready. Richter is ready. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one floats across for a strike. The count 1-2 now. So a ball and 2 strikes to Richter as he steps back into the box after he stepped back momentarily. And he faces a 1-2 count here from Rowe. Rowe winds and delivers. And there's a swing and a miss. Ball is dropped. He's going to have to throw over to first. And that is out number 1.
Now batting for your Dogs, right fielder number 4 from Fairfield University, Jake Hardy.
So Jake Hardy now the batter for the Dogs. Right-handed batter is Hardy. He is the right fielder, number 4 for the Dogs. Hitting .390 with 2 home runs is Hardy as he steps into the box for the first time here to face Zachary Rowe. Rowe looks in, and he's ready, and he's going to deliver the pitch. And he puts it right down the center of the plate, and the count is 0-1 to Hardy. No balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on here. Bottom of the first, no score from Veterans Memorial Park in Little Falls. Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs against the Oneonta Outlaws. Pitch number 2 to Hardy is a called strike 2. And we are at 0-2 here for a count. So Rowe has jumped out ahead here on Hardy. Hardy awaits the third pitch now. 0-2, here it comes. And that is left high by Hardy. The count now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the right fielder, Jake Hardy. Hardy with 2 home runs on the season, .390 batting average. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's curveball missing outside. The count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Hardy is set and waiting for Rowe. Rowe looks in, picks up a sign from his catcher. And now he will kick, wind, and deliver on the 2-2. Puts it high, does it Rowe, and the count now full at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. We are scoreless thus far here in the bottom of the first inning from Vets Park in Little Falls, New York. You are listening to Perfect Game Collegiate League Baseball. Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs against the Oneonta Outlaws. 3-2 pitch on its way now from Rowe. And there's a ball that misses outside again, and that is ball 4. So Hardy will take a walk to first base, and Byron Arias will come to the plate for the Mohawk Valley. So Byron Arias now the batter for the Dogs. He is the second baseman, hitting .349 with a home run. Arias a right-handed bat for Mohawk Valley against the lefty here in Rowe. So runner on first is Hardy, and the pitch down in the dirt gets away from the catcher. And that's going to allow Hardy to head on over to second base. So Hardy at second base after that ball got away from the catcher. And the count 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes here to Byron Arias at the plate. And he's got a runner in scoring position in Hardy at second base. 1-0 pitch now on its way from Rowe. And there's a called a strike 1, and the count even at a ball and a strike. Arias looks in, asking the umpire where that pitch was. 1-1 now the count. It's a very hot and humid day here in Little Falls today. And there's strike 2 from Rowe. And the count 1-2 ahead of the count now. Again, there's Rowe. So a ball and 2 strikes to Arias. Brody Frecker on deck. He's the DH. 1-2. 1 out. Runner on second is Hardy. And here comes the windup and the pitch from Rowe. And that is down low for strike 2 in the count, but 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 down to Arias with 1 out. There's the 2-2 pitch from Rowe. And a big swing and a miss for strike 3, and that is out number 2 for the Dogs, with Brody Frecker coming to the plate.
Dogs, designated hitter number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Frecker.
So here's Brody Frecker, the DH, hitting .320 with 1 home run on the season. Number 19 is Frecker, and he bats from the right side of the plate. And just waiting for a ball to get off the field. That came onto the field, and ball made its way into right, and we're good to go now. So Frecker at the plate, DH hitting .320 with 1 home run. He's got a runner on second base for the Dogs with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. The Dogs looking to get on the board first here in the bottom of the first. And here is Rowe with the pitch. And that ball hit up the middle past the shortstop. And that will score a run as that one gets away from the center fielder. Got right past him. It's going to allow Frecker to go all the way to third. And that was a costly mistake there as Frecker with the single, but then picks up 2 more bases on the error. So the Dogs score, and 1-0 is the lead here for the Dogs early in the bottom of the first. So they jump out on the scoreboard first to the Dogs. On a costly error by the center fielder. So here is Connor Scanlon with 2 outs, runner on third now. And pitch to Scanlon, called strike, and the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on third for the Dogs is Frecker. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one misses for ball 1 on the count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Connor Scanlon. Scanlon hitting .273 with 5 home runs on the season. And he faces a 1-1 count here from Zachary Rowe. Rowe looks in, kicks, winds, and delivers. And that one misses outside for ball 2. And the count now 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike with 2 outs to Connor Scanlon. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that is popped foul. And the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Connor Scanlon. Here's the 2-2. And that one misses for ball 3. So full count here to Scanlon with Jake Dolan on deck. 2 outs on the board here for Mohawk Valley. They've scored once already, have a 1-0 lead, and looking for another with a runner on third base here with a 3-2 count and 2 outs. So Zach Rowe here will deliver on the 3-2. Here's the pitch. And there's ball 4. And Scanlon will take a walk to put runners on first and third for the Dogs with Jake Dolan coming to the plate. So here's Jake Dolan, the left fielder for the Dogs, number 35, hitting .444. And he is a right-handed batter. Is Dolan.
Number 35 from Seton Hall, Jake Dolan.
So Jake Dolan now the batter against Zachary Rowe with runners on the corners. A 1-0 lead and 2 outs here for the Dogs. And it pulls back on that one, but calls strike on the count 0-1 to Dolan. So no balls and a strike, 2 outs. And there's pitch number 2. That's also called a strike, and the count now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, ahead in the count is Rowe on Dolan here, with runners on the corners for the Dogs in the bottom of the first. Dogs lead 1-0. Here's the pitch. And little chopper gets past the third baseman, between the third baseman and the shortstop. That's going to score another run. And the Dogs now lead 2-0. So a single by Dolan will bring up Joe Crenshaw.
From the University of Richmond, Joe Crenshaw.
So Joe Crenshaw, the catcher, who's hitting .390 with 4 home runs, is going to step into the batter's box here to face Zachary Rowe with a 2-0 advantage. And runners on first and second for the Dogs. Rowe looks at the runner at second, delivers a pitch, and curveball in for a called strike in the count, 0-1. So no balls in a strike to Crenshaw. Here's pitch number 2 outside, and the count 1-1. One ball, one strike to Crenshaw. Here's the windup and the pitch. And it hits the corner for called strike 2, and the count now 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Utica winning 1-0 in their ball game here tonight. This one 2-0 Dogs here in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. And that one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Joe Crenshaw. He is tonight's starting catcher for the Dogs. Crenshaw has got runners on first and second with 2 outs and a 2-0 advantage here in the bottom of the first. Rowe looks in and sets and winds now and delivers on the 2-2. Outside for ball 3, so another full count here for Zachary Rowe with only one spot to put him. And let's see if he walks him here. So Rowe back on the rubber, ready to go. Looks in, picks up his sign from his catcher, shakes off a few, and now he's going to deliver on the 3-2. Here it is. The runner takes off, and there is called strike 3 to end the inning. So Crenshaw strikes out looking to end the inning. Dogs put up 2. They lead 2-0 after 1.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
And we are back, and PJ Strand is going to lead things off here for Oneonta in the top of the second. 2-0 is the score. Dogs are ahead. They jumped out early on the Oneonta in the bottom of the first. So here is Strand at the plate. And first pitch, Strand takes one to the back. And he will take his base after being hit by the pitch from Brandon Lynn.
Now batting for the Outlaws, third baseman number 1 from Emmanuel College, Stephon Clark.
So here's Stephen Clark. Clark, a right-handed batter. Third baseman hitting .289 with 1 home run. And runner on first base here for the Outlaws. Here's the pitch. And there's a called strike one. And the count 0-1 to Clark. So no balls and a 1 strike. 0-1. Clark will be followed by Matthew Mayer. Here's the 0-1 pitch now. And that one down low. 4-1. And the count 1-1 to Stephen Clark. Clark again hitting .289 with 1 home run on the season, playing third base tonight for Oneonta. Runner on first is P.J. Strand being hit by a pitch. And here's the 1-1 pitch. And there's a swing and a miss by Clark, and the count now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Clark. Mayer on deck. Clark, a right-handed batter facing the righty, and Brandon Lynn. Lynn looks at the runner at first base, and now he's going to wind and deliver. And there's a swing and a miss, and that is strike 3 to Clark for the out and the first of the inning for the Outlaws.
The Outlaws designated hitter number 17 from SUNY Brockport, Matthew Mayer.
So here's Matthew Mayer. Mayer hitting .268. As Mayer makes his way to the plate here with 1 out and a runner on first. Mayer, number 17 here, bats on the right side, facing the righty himself and Lynn. And here's the windup and the pitch, and that is popped into foul territory down the first base line, and the count 0-1. So bright, sunny skies here on a Thursday evening in Little Falls. Beautiful day, unless you're sitting in a press box that's 150 degrees. 0-1. And that one misses. They throw down the first base. Runner is safe. And this heat is kind of like a slow, sluggish heat, because I am like practically struggling here to stay awake. Hoping that as the innings move on, I get a little life, because it is hot up here. 1-1. There is a little breeze occasionally, and that one misses for ball 2, and they count 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike here to Matthew Mayer. Augie Maslow is on deck for Oneonta. They find themselves down 2-0 here in the top of the first. Tonight, first responder night. So welcome to all our first responders, and thank you to all of them, even those listening on the airwaves. Thank you for your service and your lives on the line when we need you most. So 2-2, the count after the ball is fouled off on the first base line by Mayer. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Runner on first base taking a short lead. And here is Lynn now with the windup and the pitch. And that is popped up. And pitcher's calls for it, now called off by the third baseman. And he tries to grab it, and he drops it and throws over to second as the runner heads to second. The ball goes into the outfield. And now after everything is over, runners on first and second. So the third baseman called off the pitcher. He dropped it. Then he threw to second base. And the ball got into the outfield. And now runners on first and second for Oneonta.
Number 46 from St. Joseph's University, Augie Maslow.
So here is Augie Maslow. Maslow, a right-handed batter for Oneonta. Runners on first and second. Maslow hitting .229 for Oneonta. Here comes the windup and the pitch. And that one called a strike, and the count 0-1 to Maslow. Well, no balls and 1 strike. Here's the windup, the pitch. And that is outside, and the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Maslow. Blake Fortunato on deck for the Outlaws. 1-1 the count with 1 out. Lynn looks at the runner at second before he delivers the pitch. And does so high for ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike here to Augie Maslow. Just 1 out here for Oneonta in the top of the second inning. 2-1 the count. Here's the windup and the pitch from Lynn. Outside, ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike here to Maslow. And at the top of the second, Utica leads 1-0 in their ball game. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2. And the count now full to Maslow. 3-2 with 1 out. Oneonta's got runners on first and second. They're down 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. Top of the second, sorry. Wrong inning. 3-2. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one misses for ball 4. He'll take a walk, Will Maslow. And Blake Fortunato now the batter. So Fortunato, the DH in the ball game here tonight for Oneonta, steps in from the left side of the batter's box, hitting 179 with 1 home run for Fortunato. Runners on first and second and third. The bases loaded here, top of the second. Here's the pitch. And that one is popped up. First baseman is there calling everybody off. And he makes the catch for out number 2. So pop out for Fortunato. And Alex Venezia now will come to the plate. So here's Alex Venezia. Venezia hitting 125 for Oneonta. Right-handed batter is Venezia. He's got those neon green gloves. And he will step into the box with 2 outs. Runners on first, second, and third. Here's the windup and the pitch. And it's a rocket to left field. And that's going to score 2 runs. And here comes run number 3. And just like that, back in the ball game and the lead for Oneonta. As a shot to left field, a double for Venezia. Scores 3, clears the bases, and now it is 3-0 or 3-2. Oneonta back out ahead. So Gus Simon, 188 hitter, now will step into the box here to face Brandon Lynn. Here's the pitch, and that's popped up. And this could be trouble as the center fielder was coming for it, had to back off. And so a single for Gus Simon, and the inning continues here for Oneonta. So another run scores, 4-2 now the score. And Chaz Wright, now the batter. So here's Chaz Wright, who struck out in his first at bat with 2 outs. Runner on first base. Here's the pitch. And as they call strike, the count 0-1. So fans, sorry if you hear that background noise. It is the athletic trainer downstairs applying some medical treatment to one of our players. We have a special machine that, not sure exactly what it does, but provides some air pressure or something. And the count now 1-1 after the steal to second base. And the count now 1-1 with 2 outs. So Chaz Wright, again, struck out in his first at bat. Here facing a 1-1 count. Here's the windup and the pitch. It is high for ball 2 in the count, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs here to Chaz Wright. Dogs looking to get out of this inning here with a runner on second base. 4 runs already scored in the inning for Oneonta. That one inside for ball 3 in the count now, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the 3-1 pitch now. from Lynn. Outside. And that is ball 4. So Nolan Stark now the batter for the Outlaws as the long inning keeps continuing here for Oneonta. So Nolan Stark will step into the batter's box from the left side. Left-handed batter is Stark. He struck out in his first at bat here tonight. Hitting .325 entering this ball game is the center fielder Stark. And now he's got runners on first and second. A 4-2 lead. And that has popped up into left center field. It is at the wall, and it is gone. A 3-run home run from Nolan Stark, his first of the season. And the lead extends even more here for Oneonta. So here's Vincent Duffy, who popped out in his last at bat. So Stark with the big home run, and now a 7-2 lead for Oneonta. So Duffy hitting .382. He's got 1 home run already on the season. Here's the pitch to Duffy, and there's a swing and a miss for strike 1. So a difficult inning here for Brandon Lynn. Give up 7 runs, all in 1 inning, and the score now 7-2. The Dogs came into this inning with a 2-0 lead. Here's the pitch, and down low, and the count 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that one takes a bounce, and the count now 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs here. As the Dogs looking to get out of this inning. A lot of damage already done. They swing and a miss for strike 2, and the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Vincent Duffy. PJ Strand is on deck. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one bounces in the ground, and the count now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Duffy. Again, Duffy popped out in his first at bat here tonight. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that is ball 4. Another walk. And Duffy will take his base now, and runners now on first base after the 3-run home run cleared everybody. And PJ Strand now will come to the plate. Strand was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. And Brandon Lynn looking over at first base, and now will wind and deliver to Strand. That one's fouled off, and the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Strand. Lynn looks in, looks at the runner at first base. And there's a called strike, and the count 0-2. So quickly ahead on the count is Brandon Lynn on Strand. He really needs him here, down 7-2. Here's the windup and the pitch from Lynn. That one misses inside, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to PJ Strand as Stephen Clark is on deck. 1-2, very long inning here for Oneonta, and finally the inning is over with a called strike 3. And Brandon Lynn unhappy with himself, 7-2 the score. Back after this.
At Hummel's Office Plus, our customers remain our #1 priority. Hi, Central New York. This is Justin Hummel, CEO of Hummel's Office Plus. If you are in need of a reliable, competitive, and consistent business product supplier, give Hummel's a try. We offer customized pricing, free next-day delivery, and personalized service. With our wide assortment of office supplies, janitorial supplies, furniture, and everything else you need for your workplace, Hummel's is your go-to for all your business products.
And we are back. Ryan Payne, the batter here for the Dogs. As we had to run down and do a little hydration break here. So we are warm and sweaty up here. Trying to stay hydrated. So Ryan Payne, the batter here for the Dogs. After a rough outing in the top of the second for the Dogs. Trying to get back into this thing, 7-2 the score. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. The count now 0-2 to Payne. Oh and 2. That one misses. 4-1, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. A ball and 2 strikes here for the Dogs. That is Ryan Payne, the shortstop, at the plate here. 1 and 2. Here is the windup and the pitch. And there's a called strike 3. He strikes out, does Ryan Payne. And that is out number 1 of the inning. So here's Harsh Oneonta Vencock, third baseman. He is a right-handed batter. Is Vencock to face the lefty here in a row. 1 out on the board here for Mohawk Valley. Here's the windup, the pitch, and that one's hit third base. And third baseman loses it in the sun, and it's going to get past him for a base hit. So the sun got in the way there of that one, as right when it was hit to him, he lost it in the sun. So Colin Richter, now the batter who struck out in his first at bat, will step into the box from the left side here for the Dogs. 1 out. And a runner on first for the Dogs. And there is strike 1 and the count 0-1. So the humidity out here today is rough. Tough to breathe just in the booth. Can't imagine the players on the field with that heat baking down on them. 0-1 the count. And that is pot foul. And the count 0-2. Again, if you hear that noise in the background, our apologies. Nothing we can really do about it. It is the athletic trainer providing treatment downstairs to the players. 0-2 with 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that is outside. And the count 1-2. That one misses, and the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just overheard the trainer talking about the machine that they're using and how it doesn't work the greatest with humidity over 80. And the player asked him what the humidity is out today. He said over 90. So that explains a lot. That one gets away, and a runner is going to advance to second base, and the count now 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ritter at the plate for the Dogs. 3-2. Here's Rowe now with the windup and the pitch. And a little chopper foul. The count remains 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes here to Colin Richter. Jake Hardy awaits on deck with 1 out. And a runner on second base for the Dogs. There's the windup and the 3-2. Called strike 3 as Richter was just ready to throw his bat and head over down the first base. And he was called out. So Jake Hardy now, the batter for the Dogs. Hardy walked in his first at bat. He's got 2 homers on the season, a .390 batting average, and a runner on second base here with 2 outs. In the bottom of the second, down 7-2. And there's a strike in the count, 0-1. So no balls in, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that is good for strike 2. And ahead now in the count, 0-2, is Zachary Rowe on Jake Hardy. So Hardy looking to stave off a strikeout here with an 0-2 count. Here's the pitch. And that is high and outside, ball 1 in the count, 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Hardy. Hardy, a right-handed batter facing the lefty in Rowe. Zachary Rowe. And the pitch outside, ball 2 in the count, even at 2-2 now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So off the rubber steps the pitcher, Zachary Rowe, before he hops back on. Looks down to get his sign from his catcher. He's good to go, and the count 2-2. Here's the windup and the pitch. And then is popped foul. Catcher rips off his mask, but realizes it's out of play. And the count stays put at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to the number 2 hitter in the lineup, Jake Hardy. 2-2 pitch. And one is hit to center fielder. Center fielder's there, makes the grab to end the inning. And so a pop fly to center field ends the inning. Score remains 7-2. Oneonta.
Spring into action and get started on your home projects with Little Falls Lumber. Get your free estimate today for that project, big or small. Little Falls Lumber. They're always happy to help.
Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations and speak to one of our knowledgeable salesmen about your next project.
At NBT Bank, we know that this day starts with this one. This day starts with this one. Because no matter how unforgettable the extraordinary days are, there's a lot of every day that leads up to them. You can count on NBT Bank to help you get started. NBT Bank, it starts here.
Number 1, Emmanuel College, Stephen Clark.
So here's Matt Allegria now pitching for the DiamondDawgs. Matt Allegria now pitching. And Stephen Clark is at the plate here for Oneonta in the top of the 3rd inning. Oneonta a 7-2 lead. And Allegria, a right-handed pitcher to face the righty. And that one inside. Brushes him off the plate a bit. And the count 1-0 to Clark. Again, Clark struck out in his first at-bat here tonight. He faced Brandon Lynn at the time. Now Matt Allegria, the new pitcher for the Dogs, here in the top of the third. That's fouled off in the count 1-1. So 1 ball and a 1 strike to Clark. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that is high for ball 2. So 2-1 the count here to Clark. Two-one pitch, and that is fouled off in the count 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Clark. Clark with 1 home run, hitting .289 coming into this ball game for Oneonta. Matthew Mayer is on deck as Augie Maslow after him. And they're going to see if he went. They're going to check. They're going to say, no, he did not go. And the count 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Clark. As Allegria looks in, picks up his sign, and he's ready to deliver on the 3-2. Here it is. Outside for ball 4. And another walk as Stephen Clark will head down the first base line.
Now batting for Oneonta, designated hitter number 17 from SUNY Brockport, Matthew Mayer.
So Matthew Mayer now the batter for the Outlaws. Mayer, a right-handed batter to face the righty here in Allegria. Here's the windup now and the pitch. And a curveball in for a strike at the count 0-1. So no balls and a strike here to Matthew Mayer. He reached on an error in his first at bat here tonight. 0-1 pitch. Inside. And brushes him off a bit. The count 1-1. One ball and a 1 strike. Allegria looks at the runner at first base, keeping him close. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2 in the count 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Mayer. Augie Maslow is on deck for the Outlaws. Outlaws a 7-2 advantage. Big top of the second inning, scored 7 runs, responding to the Dogs 2. There's a swing and a miss, and that is good for out number 1.
Now batting for the Outlaws, shortstop number 46 from St. Joseph's University, Augie Maslow.
So here's Augie Maslow. Maslow, a right-handed batter for Oneonta. And he steps up to the plate, and runner takes off, and he fouls that one off in the count 0-1. Well, no balls and 1 strike to Maslow, who walked in his first at bat here tonight. Runner's going to head back to first base after the foul ball. Here's the 0-1. And that one misses, and the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike, Blake Fortunato is on deck. A ball and a strike. Here is the pitch from Allegria. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2. The count now 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. Here is Allegria with the pitch. Outside, ball 2. Two and 2 now to Maslow. Again, Fortunato awaits on deck after him. 1 out. Runner on first base. And that one hits Maslow in the arm guard, and he will take a walk. So things just not going well today here for the Dogs. So Blake Fortunato now the batter for Oneonta. He bats from the left side, does Fortunato. He popped out in his first at bat. And runners on first and second with one out here for Oneonta. Looking for more, already up 7-2. Here's the windup now and the pitch from Alegria. And Alegria taking his time, now deliver the pitch. And right down the middle for a called strike, the count 0-1. No balls and one strike with the one out. Here's the windup and the pitch from Alegria. Runners take off. Here's the throw to third. And they got him at third. So Crenshaw throws the runner out at third. And the count 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Fortunato at the plate. So asking for a fresh baseball is Alegria. And now for Oneonta, runner on second base with 2 outs and Fortunato at the plate with a 1-1 count. A nice throw by Joe Crenshaw to get the runner at third on the double steal. 1-1. Here's the windup and the pitch outside for ball 2. And 2-1 the count. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that one called strike 2, and the count now 2-2. So Alegria has evened things up here. 2 Fortunato, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And a runner on second base, 7-2 is the score. Oneonta ahead, and that one missing for ball 3. The count now 3-2. So full count here. Alegria looking to put an end to the inning here with Fortunato facing a 3-2 count. And there is ball 4. And some of the same continues here for the Dogs as they're unable to get that guy with the 3-2 count. They put him on first base continually in this ball game. So Alex Venezia now the batter for Oneonta. He doubled in his last plate appearance. He's got Outlaws on first and second here with 2 outs. And that one skates across for a called strike 1. 0-1 to Venezia. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Alegria with the runners on first and second taking short leads. And that's fouled off on the first base line, and the count now 0-2. Another opportunity here for the Dogs to get out of the inning with an 0-2 count. And let's see what Alegria delivers here to Venezia, up 0-2. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up. This should do it for the inning as the second baseman calls off his right fielder, makes the catch, ends the inning, and the score remains 7-2 Oneonta.
Little Falls, New York combines the charms of a small town with the conveniences of a much larger city. Of course, you'd expect to find welcoming people, beautiful scenery, family-friendly activities, and plenty to do outdoors. But you might be surprised to find that Little Falls, New York also has an espresso bar, gym shop, art center, French restaurant, antique centers, local hospital, and extensive civic services and amenities. Not to mention homes both beautiful and affordable, nestled in a dramatic natural setting amongst steep hills that descend to the Mohawk River and Erie Canal. Little Falls, New York. It's a great place to spend a few days or a lifetime.
All right, we are back. I'm not sure if you were able to catch that run, but that was entertaining, folks.
Second baseman number 17 from Dominican University, Byron Arias.
So Byron Arias would lead things off. So during the innings, we have a runner on the bases, and today's runner on the bases is a little hot, a little humid. And one of the little girls got maybe the first base and decided, I'm walking this one, folks. I am walking. And she was walking, like literally walking very slowly. We almost had to delay this game a couple hours. Luckily, our intern was able to grab her and bring her off, Cody. And that was comical, too, because he didn't, you can tell, he's not really sure how to pick up a child. Did his best. 2-1 Utica is the score. We're getting updates throughout the game as we are in a battle between Utica and Mohawk Valley for playoff position. Glens Falls winning 5-0 over Saugerties. That one misses for ball 2. The count now 2-1 to Arias here. If I can describe how I feel, just like that little girl. Just slowly trying to get through these innings. It's brutal, folks. I'm not going to lie. I apologize if I'm putting you to sleep because I'm putting myself to sleep here tonight because the humidity is just brutal. 2-1 the count. 3-1 the count. Seems like everything's kind of moving in slow motion here tonight. Even the pitches and the plays. 3-1 the count. Bottom third. Here's the pitch. And there is ball 4. So Arias will walk. And Brody Frecker will come to the plate. So Brody Frecker, who has singled in his first at-bat here tonight, will step into the box for the second time here to face Zachary Bro. And that one comes across for ball 1 in the count 1-0 to Frecker. Connor Scanlon and Jake Dolan all due up in this inning. So the catcher goes out, chat with his pitcher. That is Vincent Duffy. So Duffy back to behind the plate. So not sure if the hockey fans in the Mohawk Valley heard the news, but new hockey team coming to Rome. As they announced the Copper City Chiefs will be playing in Rome in the fall, starting in November. The count now 1-1. So congratulations to Rome on semi-pro hockey. 1-1. The count to Frecker. That one's catches the bottom portion of the plate in the count 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. A lot of fans very excited, saying more hockey's better for the area. So we will see what that brings. I know folks in Rome are excited. That is a hockey town. They love their RFA Knights hockey team. And that one is thrown away. The runner is safe after the error. So an error allows Frecker to reach safely. And Connor Scanlon now will come to the plate. So Connor Scanlon, the batter who walked at his last at bat. Nobody out here as the catcher signaling to the infielders. 7-2 the score, Oneonta ahead. Scanlon will step into the batter's box to face Zachary Rowe with nobody out and a runner on first. Here's the pitch, and that was hit past the pitcher, and second baseman, shortstop scoops it, tosses it to the second baseman, and out at second on the force is Frecker.
DiamondDawgs left fielder number 35 from Seton Hall, Jake Dolan.
So Jake Dolan now the batter. Dolan signaled in his last at bat, his first at bat, And run scores on that play. 7-3 now the score. And that one misses for ball 1 to Dolan. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Runner on first base for the Dogs. 7-3 the score. And that one misses for ball 2 in the count 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Outside, ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes, 1 out. Again, fans, if you're listening on the radio, on the internet, drop a message in the comments. Let me know where you're listening from. I'll give you a shout out if I can between innings once I check the feed. And there's ball 4, so he will take his base. Will Dolan. And Joe Crenshaw now will come to the plate. So Crenshaw struck out looking at his first at bat now. Another opportunity here with runners on first and second with just 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Dogs down 7-3. Rowe delivers, and there's a called strike. Bottom portion of the plate. Called a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's Rowe as he looks to the runner at second base. Not being held on. Here's the pitch. That one misses, and the count even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out. Here to Crenshaw. Payne is on deck for the Dogs after Crenshaw. There's a shot to left field for a base hit. Runner's going to come around third. And the throw's not in time, and the Dogs score another run here. The second of the inning for them. And the score now 7-4. Oneonta. So the Dogs slowly starting to chip away at the lead.
Shortstop number 27 from Fairfield University, Ryan Payne.
So Ryan Payne, who struck out looking in his first at bat, now will step into the box with 1 out, down 3. With the runners on first and second. Still just 1 out here for the Dogs in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up by Payne into right field, and right fielder makes the grab. Runner tags up. He's going to head to 3rd.
Now letting for your Dogs, 3rd baseman number 21 from Brown University, Harsh Venkat.
So here is Harsh Venkat, who singled in his first at bat, and he will face Zachary Rowe for the 2nd time here tonight. And he's got runners on the corners for Mohawk Valley here in the bottom of the 3rd, 7-4. Dogs are down, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that one is left high for ball 1 from Venkat. 1-0 count. Runners on the corner, short leads. Here's the pitch. And that one misses for ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs. To Venkat. Venkat is ready. Here's the pitch. And that's high for ball 3. 3-0 now. To Harsh Ramanjana Venkat. Venkat hitting .385 on the year. And facing a 3-0 count. Here's the pitch. And there's called strike 1 on the count 3-1. Oh, 3-1 count to Venkat. Rowe looks in, lines and delivers. Here's the throw to second base. And safe as second. There's ball 4. And Venkat will walk. Well, Venkat walks. We go back to the top of the order with Colin Richter. And the trip to the mound for the coaching staff. And we'll see if this is it or not, as we have activity in the bullpen. And let's see if he pulls his pitcher. And it looks like it's just a trip out to the mound right now. And so the pitcher's going to stay in for now with 2 outs. So Colin Richter, the batter here for the Dogs, he has struck out twice tonight, once swinging and once looking. So here is Richter stepping into the box from the left side to face the lefty here in row. 2 outs. Bases loaded here for the Dogs. And that's a shot to center field. It's going to drop in front of the center fielder. 1 run scores. And safe at second on a close play at second. Run scores. So 2 run scores as the runner at second kind of caught in the middle and ran back quickly. And they're claiming they touched him, but they call him safe. So coach is going to want to talk about that one.
Right fielder number 4 from Fairfield University, Jake Hardy. Playing like dogs.
So our run score 7-6 now. 2 more runs score. 7-6 is the score. And here is Jake Hardy at the plate. And that one misses for ball 1 to Hardy. The count 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And it's fouled off. And the count 1-1. One and one here to Hardy. 2 outs. There's the windup and the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2, and the count 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Jake Hardy. Got runners on first and second. 2 outs, 7-6. Dogs are down. That one misses for ball 2, and the count 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch on its way. And there's ball 3. And the count now 3-2. So 3-2 count here to Hardy. Here's the windup and the pitch from Rowe. And there's ball 4. And that will load the bases here for the Dogs.
Now batting for your Dogs, second baseman number 17 from Dominican University, Byron Arias.
And it's like we have a pitching change. We'll be back after this. And we are back. New pitcher on the mound for Oneonta is Brandon McNamee. So McNamee now pitching for Oneonta. And for the Dogs, Byron Arias is the batter with bases loaded and 2 outs here with a 7-6 lead for Oneonta. And the pitch called a strike to Arias. Arias hitting .349 with a home run on the year. He has struck out and walked here tonight. 0-1 pitch to Arias. And down low for ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the 1-2. 1-1, sorry. And a little chopper down the first base line. Now the count is 1-2 with 2 outs here to Arias. So bases loaded for the Dogs here. Doesn't want to leave him stranded here. Does Arias. Already has scored 4 runs in the inning for the Dogs. Looking for more here with 2 outs. 1-2 the count here to Arias. Here's the windup and the pitch. And again, fouled off on the first base line. And we will do it all over again with a 1-2 count. A 1-2 down to Arias. McNamee is ready, and he's going to wind and deliver on the 1-2. Here it comes. Slow and steady, and that's fouled off on the third base line. And the count 1-2 with 2 outs as Arias continuing to battle at the plate here. So 1-2. There's the 1-2 pitch from it. Actually, he's going to step off the rubber before he delivers the pitch and start all over again. So 1-2 the count as he will look in, get his sign. And now we'll set, wind, and deliver. And that one is hit up the middle into center field. Going to go all the way to the wall. And that's going to be a bunch of runs scored here for Arias as he clears the bases. And a double for Byron Arias. And now the score 9-7. Dogs go back up ahead. So Brody Frecker now the batter. As the runs just keep coming here for the Dogs in the bottom of the third. The Dogs have taken the lead back 9-7. Here's the pitch outside to Frecker. The count 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Dogs 7 runs in the bottom of the third inning. So they responded to the 7 put up by Oneonta. That one is popped up. It's at the wall. And he grabbed it, brought it back in. They didn't catch it, but and robs Frecker of a home run. So Connor Scanlon, that was almost Frecker's second home run of the year. It was at the wall, and the left fielder yanked it back. So here is Scanlon, who reached on the fielder's choice and walked already once here tonight. And he's going to come to the plate to face Brandon McNamee. Had a rough go in this inning already. So with 2 outs, 10-7 the score. DiamondDawgs have jumped out back ahead. And runner on second base here from Mohawk Valley. Here's the pitch. And that's a call strike to count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. 3-1 Utica is the score. Here's the pitch. And that one missing, and the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Scanlon. As the Dogs looking to continue this massive inning. 1-1. Outside ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike here with 2 outs. The 2-1 pitch now on its way. Inside ball 3. So a 3-1 count now to Connor Scanlon with a runner on second base in scoring position and 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. 10-7 Dogs ahead. There's the pitch. And that is popped up. And this should do it for the innings. Center fielder makes the grab, but not before the Dogs put up 8 runs and lead 10-7 after 3.
Some people might think that the tire shop in Canajoharie only does tires. Nah, that's only their name. The tire shop does so much more. Oil changes, custom wheels, interstate batteries, computer wheel balancing, tire repair service and recapping, auto accessories, tire chains, ag bags, bale and net wrap, and much more. And when it comes to tires, the tire shop in Canajoharie also does so much more. Lawn and garden tires, off the road, backhoe, loader tires, log skidder, agricultural, ATV and UTV tires, and on the farm tire services. The Tire Shop is a multi-line new tire dealer. That means they're quite a choice for top brand name tires for your car, truck, SUV, semi-tractor, and trailer, all at great prices. They're also a Goodyear national accounts and state contract pricing location. Financing available too. Find more information and a list of services at thetireshop.biz. Thetireshop.biz. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. Yes, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Tire Shop, 155 Erie Boulevard in Canajoharie.
And we are back for the top of the 4th inning. So Gus Simon will lead things off here for Oneonta in the top of the 4th inning. They are down 10-7 after a massive inning by the Dogs. An 8-run inning put the Dogs back out ahead. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for Mohawk Valley. It is Jack Henning. So Jack Henning, a righty, now pitching for the Dogs with Gus Simon at the plate. Simon singled in his first at bat and he fouls that one off. And they count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Gus Simon. No balls and 1 strike. Here is the pitch. There's a strike to count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Here to Simon. And that one misses. They count 1-2, so it'll be Simon and back to the top of the order with Chaz Wright and Nolan Stark. 1-2 here to Simon. There's the windup and the 1-2 pitch. That one misses for ball 2 in the count, 2-2. Well, 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Gus Simon. Simon awaits the pitch. Here it is. And that is outside and low. And the count now full, 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes from Jack Henning here in the top of the 4th. And that is fouled off, and the count 3-2 remains. Well, 3-2 first responder night here at the park, honoring all the first responders in the area. Free admission for first responders. You're still out there, you want to come to the game? It's on us. Come on down. Tell us you're a first responder. Show us something. You're in. There's ball 4, so he'll walk to start things off here. And we go back to the top of the order with Chaz Wright. So Chaz Wright now the batter for Oneonta. Wright has struck out and walked here tonight. Henning winds and delivers, and there is a ball strike. 0-1 the count. I think it's a strike. We're not sure. Looks like he went around, but we didn't really get a call up here. Kind of on our own up here. 0-1. Here's the windup now and the pitch. Runner takes off, and that one is hit into left field, down foul territory, so they're running to head back to first after the hit and run was on. Oh, 2. Now the count to Chaz Wright. Here's the windup and the pitch from Henning, and it is outside. And 1-2 is what we think the count is. We're not sure. There's the guy in, I say blue, but he's wearing black here tonight. He's hot too. 1-2. He's hot and cranky. 1-2. And that one is down low. And the count even at 2-2. We must not be wrong. He's not yelling at us, so put my faith in Nuzzo. 2-2. I mean, you got to put your faith in these guys when you're up here in 90-degree humidity, baking like worms in the sun. And the catch is made by the center fielder for the out. And Nolan Stark now will come to the plate. So here is Nolan Stark from the Culinary Academy. So he can probably throw up a dinner for us here. So we're only in the top of the 4th inning here. Some of us are waiting for dinner. Here is a Nolan Stark who can probably carve up a dinner for you and also play baseball. Throw back to first base. Henning now winds and delivers, and that one is hit to center field. It is at the wall. It is gone. A home run by Nolan Stark. That's his second home run. His second of the ball game and second of the season. So Vincent Duffy now the batter. So the second home run of the game and of the season for Nolan Stark. We'll bring up Vincent Duffy now. And this game now 10-9. And that pitch to Duffy called a strike in the count, 0-1. So 0-1 the count. And with 1 out, I think I have plans to go down in the cooler after this inning. So After the middle of the inning, I am leaving the booth and going in the cooler. And see if the wire can follow me down there, and I'll do the game from there. That one's at the wall, and just short of another home run as that one hits the wall. So a double for Duffy. And P.J. Strand will now the batter for Oneonta. Still just one out here for the Dogs. In this top of the fourth inning, 2 runs have scored. In this inning, 9-2 the score. Oh, I'm sorry, 10-2 the score. I wonder if the humidity is helping the ball exit quicker. Could be. Oh, as though has spotted some smoke in the area. We're hoping it's just the hot dogs. 1 ball and no strikes. Sometimes they fire up that grill and a little smoke comes out of it. Or they could have burned popcorn. But we usually would smell that. 1-0 the count. And a little chopper up the middle. That's going to get through. And a run will score. So the game now tied after the single, from P.J. Strand. And Stephen Clark now the batter. So 10-10, we are approaching football-style scores here in Little Falls. As a touchdown and a field goal right now for both teams. And a runner takes off. Here's the throw by Crenshaw. And they got him for out number 2. So they throw out the runner. And now 2 outs. So Clark at the plate. And that one misses. 4-2 in the count now, 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. 10-10 is the score. And that ball hit sharply to third, knocked down by Venkop. Picks it up, goes across. And that does it for the inning, but not before some more runs for Oneonta. 10-10 is the score.
If you are looking for some shopping and dining, head on over to Canal Place, where you will find quaint shops, galleries, restaurants, and inns situated in the old mill buildings and storefronts along the waterfront of Canal Place. They've become known as the happening place for the arts in the Mohawk Valley. Not so long ago, many of these buildings were working mills serving the garment industry. Even today, after conversion to serve as retail space, many of these rugged but lovely structures speak to our great regional manufacturing heritage. If you're looking for fine arts, entertainment, or antiques, you simply must pay a visit to Canal Place. Hey fans, tell the world you are here at Veterans Memorial Park watching your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Share your experiences, connect with other fans, and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite team. For more information, visit mvdiamonddogs.com or like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Visit the Daily Post and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the Mohawk Valley. Our mission is to generate interest in the area and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals' interest alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today at thedailypost.digital. You'll be glad you did.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
And we're back, folks. Sorry for the long delay there. We had an injury on the field as the pitcher for Oneonta leaves the game with a lower ankle injury possibly. And so Jimmy Stroline is now the pitcher for the Outlaws, as Braden McNamee went to the locker room to be looked at by the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs trainer. Another one bunts it down and it moves the runners over. And now runners on second and third here with one out. So a sack bunt by Ryan Payne.
Now batting for your Dogs, third baseman number 21 from Brown University, Harsh Ramayana Venkat.
So Harsh Ramayana Venkat. So just to recap, the pitcher for Oneonta, Brandon McNamee, had to field a bunt and hurt his ankle, and he was helped off the field, and he is in the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawg locker room being attended to by the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs trainer. So best wishes to him. Hopefully everything is okay. No balls and one strike. Looks like we got a helicopter arriving here, not at the ball field, but there is a landing spot to our left here. And that's where the, I believe it's the hospital. And that's where the helicopter lands for the hospital. So that is not a good sign for somebody. So one ball and one strike. As that one, the bat comes out of his hand and that goes flying. A lot of weird things starting to happen here tonight. Helicopters flying, bats flying like a helicopter. So Harsh Ramayana Venkak at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Jimmy Stroline is the batter, or the pitcher, I'm sorry. And his little ball dribbled down to first base, touches the bag, and 2 outs, a run scores. So 11-10 as they go for the sure out at first base, the run scores.
Now batting for your Dogs, center fielder number 28 from Monmouth University, Colin Richter.
So Colin Richter now the batter. So here is Richter at the plate. Again with a runner on third base now. And 2 outs. A 1 ball and no strikes. A 1-0 count. And there is a strike to count now, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Colin Richter with 2 outs. Here's the windup and the pitch. And there is strike 2 in the count now, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here to Richter. Here's the 1-2, and ball is hit to the shortstop, and that gets past him as a big cloud of smoke pops up after he tried to grab that. And so a single scores a run, and the Dogs back ahead 12-10 now. So here's Jake Hardy. As a back and forth game we have here, the Dogs back on top by 2 now. So here is Hardy at the plate. And the pitch. That misses for ball 1. The count 1-0. A 1 ball and no strikes to Hardy with 2 outs. On first, taking a short lead. Stroline the pitcher. Here's the pitch. That catches the outside corner. The count even at 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 here to Hardy. Arias awaits on deck. 1-1. With 2 outs, the runner on first taking a short lead. Here's the windup and the pitch by Stroline. Runner takes off. Ball is hit into the air. And catch is made to end the inning. And 2-run score for the Dogs. They lead 12-10 after 4.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
And we are back in Colin Schneider, the new pitcher for the Dogs here.
Designated hitter number 17 from Sweeney Brockport, Matthew Mayer.
So Matthew Mayer, the batter. Colin Schneider, the new pitcher here for the Dogs in the top of the fifth inning. 12-10, Dogs ahead. Oh, Schneider ready to go here as he waits Matthew Mayer to get into the box. There's the windup and pitch by Snyder. And it's strike one. Well, no balls and a one strike. And that is popped up. And first baseman makes the catch for out number uno.
Now batting for the Outlaws, shortstop number 46 from St. Joseph's University, Augie Maslow.
So here is Augie Maslow, who has been hit by a pitch and has walked here tonight. Maslow hitting .229, steps into the box to face Schneider for the first time. Fouls that one off. The count 0-1. So no balls and one strike to Augie Maslow. What a cool name, Augie Maslow. I like that. 0-1. And in the dirt, and the count 1-1. A one ball and one strike here to Maslow. Top five. Dogs lead 12-10. And that's fouled off. And the count 1-2. So one ball, two strikes. With the Maslow at the plate. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that drops down for a strike, and that is out number two. So Maslow strikes out, and Blake Fortunato will come to the plate. So here's Fortunato with 2 outs. He has walked and popped out here tonight. Here's the pitch to Fortunato, and swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Fortunato hitting .179 coming into this ball game tonight for Oneonta, a left-handed batter facing the righty here in Schneider. 0-1 pitch by Schneider, and it is popped foul, and the count 0-2. So no balls and two strikes with 2 outs. Oh, and 2. There's the windup now, and the pitch coming from Schneider. And that is hit to right field. Right fielder backs up, moves over, makes the grab, ends the inning, and we move on to the bottom of the fifth. 12-10, Dogs lead.
At Hummel's Office Plus, our customers remain our #1 priority. Hi, Central New York. This is Justin Hummel, CEO of Hummel's Office Plus. If you are in need of a reliable, competitive, and consistent business product supplier, give Hummel's a try. We offer customized pricing, free next-day delivery, and personalized service. With our wide assortment of office supplies, janitorial supplies, furniture, and everything else you need for your workplace, Hummel's is your go-to for all your business products.
Spring into action and get started on your home projects with Little Falls Lumber. Get your free estimate today for that project, big or small. Little Falls Lumber. They're always happy to help.
Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations and speak to one of our knowledgeable salesmen about your next project.
And we are back for the bottom of the fifth. And Byron Arias will lead things off here for the Dogs. 4-1 the score in Utica. Utica leads that game 4-2. Just got an update, so 4-2. The Utica score. Here it is 12-10. Dogs ahead in the bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch to Arias. And the pitch is a strike. The count 0-1. So no balls in, 1 strike. Jimmy Stroline, the pitcher for Oneonta, and Byron Arias, the batter. There's the pitch. Inside. The count now even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Arias. He has doubled, walked, and struck out here this evening. As Arias, he's a left-handed batter facing the righty in Stroline. 1-1. Here's the pitch. Inside again. And the count 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. It will be Arias, Frecker, and Scanlon. Here's a 2-1. And that one misses for ball 3 in the count now, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Three and 1 as that one is popped foul. And the count now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3-2 count here to Byron Arias. Here's the windup and the pitch. And we thought that was ball 4, but it's not. 3-2 now the count. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the windup and the pitch to Arias. That's popped up and out of play. 3-2 the count. So Arias at the plate, Frecker and Scanlon all due up here in the inning. 3-2 count here to Arias as the Dogs lead 12-10, looking to add some more runs as they've been back and forth throughout this game. As we've had 2 big innings, a 7-run inning for Oneonta and an 8-run inning for the Dogs. And there is ball 4, and he will walk Will Arias. So Brody Frecker now the batter for the Dogs. So Frecker has doubled in his last at bat. He will come to the plate here with nobody out and a runner on first base here in the bottom of the 5th. Stroline looks over at the runner at first and delivers, and there's a strike in the count 0-1. Got a couple kids playing on the tennis courts. Good place to hang out for a foul ball. Haven't seen too many go over there today, but usually that's the hot spot if you're looking for a foul ball. And there is a ball on the count 1-1. Pretty good chance if you hang out there for a game, you're going to walk away with a foul ball. 1-1. Here's the windup and the pitch by Stroline, and that is popped up into center field. It is at the wall, and it is gone. A home run by Brody Frecker. His 2nd home run of the season, and the Dogs add to that lead. So here is Frecker crossing home plate. A 2-run shot for Brody Frecker, and the Dogs now extend that lead to 14-10. So Brody Frecker picks up his 2nd home run of the season for Mohawk Valley, and Connor Scanlon now will come to the plate, still with nobody out. So 14-10 the score now for the Dogs. And here is Scanlon at the plate. Stroline delivers the pitch outside for a ball. And the count 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes here to Scanlon. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 1. The count now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one's going to be hit into the glove of the center fielder for the out number 1 of the game, of the ball, of the inning, I'm sorry. Feels like the game just started.
Now batting for your Dogs, left fielder number 35 from Seton Hall, Jake Dolan.
So here is Jake Dolan now. Dolan, a righty here, placing the righty in Stroline. Stroline is ready to go with one out here. And nobody on. Bottom 5, there's a strike in the count, 0-1. No balls and 1 strike with 1 out. That flag in the outfield just moving around just a tad. As the humidity remains here, but gotten a little bit better. Still a tough one tonight. One of those nights you're going to want to run your AC to sleep well. 1-1. And there's a called strike 2. And they count now 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes to Jake Dolan, left fielder. 1-2 pitch. And swing and a miss. And there is out number 2 as he strikes out as Dolan. So Joe Crenshaw now will come to the plate for the Dogs. So here's Joe Crenshaw with 2 outs, nobody on. A 14-10 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Well, Crenshaw ready to go. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 pitch by Stroline is popped up to right center field, and that is at the wall, and that is gone. Another home run for the Dogs here tonight. This time by the way of Joe Crenshaw. That is home run number 5 on the year for Crenshaw. So the home runs continue here tonight. And I'm going to say that ball's flying well through this humidity. So with 2 outs, another run for the Dogs, 15-10. So here's Ryan Payne now. So Ryan Payne now the batter, still 2 outs here for the Dogs. Extending that lead to 15-10 after the Joe Crenshaw home run. Owen won the count to Ryan Payne. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that is popped up. And the shortstop is going to make the grab to end the inning, but not before 2 home runs, 3 runs, and the Dogs extend their lead to 15-10.
After 5 ball fans the score, Mohawk.
At NBT Bank, we know that this day starts with this one. This day starts with this one. Because no matter how unforgettable the extraordinary days are, there's a lot of every day that leads up to them. You can count on NBT Bank to help you get started. NBT Bank, it starts here.
And we are back for the top of the 6th. So Alex Venezia will lead things off here for the Outlaws. It'll be Venezia, Gus Simon, and then back to the top with Chaz Wright. And just an update on the pitcher who left the game for Oneonta. He is back in the dugout. That was Brandon McNamee back in the dugout with some ice on his ankle. And that one is hit foul down the third base line. The count 1-1 to Venezia. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex Venezia doubled it and popped out here tonight. 1-1 the count. One pitch on its way. And right down the middle for a call, strike 2. And the count 1-2. That is Colin Schneider hurling strikes for the Dogs. 1-2. Top 6, Dogs lead 15-10. Here is the windup now and the pitch. Outside, ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Venezia. Gus Simon is on deck for the Outlaws. 2-2 pitch. We await from Colin Schneider. Here it is. And inside corner called strike 3. And that gets him looking for Venezia, and he strikes out.
Now batting for the Outlaws, left fielder number 3 from Concordia University at Ann Arbor, Gus Simon.
So Gus Simon now the batter for Oneonta with the 1 out. Simon, a right-handed bat for the Outlaws. And he will step into the batter's box here with a 1 out and nobody on. That's high for ball 1 to Simon. 1-0 pitch will be next when Schneider is ready to go. And looks like he's good. Here's the pitch. And that is high for ball 2, and the count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Thus far, 4 pitchers for the Dogs. Colin Schneider, the 4th. 2-0. Here's the windup and the pitch. And there's a called strike 1, and the count now 2-1. So 2-1 to Simon. As Schneider picks up his sign from his catcher and delivers the pitch. And that one just missing for ball 3 in the count 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike with 1 out here to Gus Simon. After Simon would go back to the top of the order with Chaz Wright. And there's ball 4, so he will take a walk, Will Simon. The second walk of the evening.
For the Outlaws, second baseman number 21 from St. John's University, 24, from St. John's University, Chaz Wright.
So here's Chaz Wright, number 24 for Oneonta. He's a left-handed batter for the Outlaws. And he is in the box and ready to go. He's just waiting for Schneider to deliver. And the pitch, outside corner, called strike 1. So no balls and a strike here to Wright. Right top of the order for Oneonta. They have a runner on first, down 15-10. As runs been scored all over the place here tonight. That one's outside, and the count now 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Chaz Wright with Nolan Stark on deck. 1-1 the pitch. That one misses for ball 2 in the count 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike here to the leadoff hitter Chaz Wright. Two 2-1 pitch on its way. And that one drops down low for ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike and 1 out here with a runner on first base for the Outlaws. 3-1 the pitch. And that is called strike 2, and the count even now. Or I'm sorry, full at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with a 1 out here. As Schneider looking to pick up out number 2 of the inning. And he will deliver on the 3-2 pitch. Here it is. And swing and a miss for strike 3, and that is out number 2 as Chaz Wright strikes out.
The Outlaws center fielder number 2 from the Culinary Academy, Nolan Stark.
So Nolan Stark now the batter for Oneonta. Stark, another left-handed batter for the Outlaws, and he's hit 2 home runs here tonight. So not a bad game for Nolan Stark here this evening in Little Falls. And that is popped foul, and they count 0-1. So if you're going to make the trip all the way out here, you might as well make it worth your while, and Nolan Stark did just that today with 2 home runs already in his 3 at-bats. 0-1 pitch outside, and the count 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Top 6, Dogs lead 15-10. Here's the windup and the 1-1 pitch. Outside corner called strike 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes and 2 outs here to Nolan Stark. There's the pitch. That one is popped up into right field. Right fielder coming fast and strong, and it is foul. And the count remains 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs to Nolan Stark. He's going to come back to home plate and continue his at-bat. After Stark, Vincent Duffy is on deck. The 2 outs here, runner on first. Dogs looking to get out of this inning here with no damage. 1-2 outside, and the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Two pitch on its way from Schneider here. And swing and a miss. And that does it for the inning. Score remains 15-10. Dogs ahead.
Little Falls, New York combines the charms of a small town with the conveniences of a much larger city. Of course, you'd expect to find welcoming people, beautiful scenery, family-friendly activities, and plenty to do outdoors. But you might be surprised to find that Little Falls, New York also has an espresso bar, gem shop, art center, French restaurant, antique centers, local hospital, and extensive civic services and amenities. Not to mention homes both beautiful and affordable, nestled in a dramatic natural setting amongst steep hills that descend to the Mohawk River and Erie Canal. Little Falls, New York. It's a great place to spend a few days or a lifetime.
So Harsh Venkonk will lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th for the Dogs.
She hit.
And new pitcher in the ball game here for Oneonta. We're waiting for a name. We'll let you know who that is once we know. So Christopher Batullos now pitching for Oneonta. Batullos is the pitcher here.
Now pitching for Oneonta, number 31 from St. John's University, Chris Batullos.
So 0-1 the count here to Harsh Venkak from Batullos. Batullos, a right-hander. Here's the windup now in the pitch on the 0-1. And big swing and a miss by Venkak. Quickly the count 0-2 now from Batullos. No balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Venkak. And then we go back to the top of the order with Richter and Hardy. Dogs leading 15-10 here, bottom 6. 0-2 the count, and here's the pitch. And here it is. Swing and a miss, and down goes Venkak for strike 3, and out number 1 of the inning.
Center fielder number 28 from Monmouth University, Colin Richter.
So Colin Richter now the batter for the Dogs here in the bottom of the 6th. Again with 1 out and nobody on. So for Richter, a single in his last at bat. He is a left-handed batter for the Dogs, facing the righty here in Batullos. And he will set Will Batullos and deliver with 1 out. And that is called strike 1. And the count 0-1 to Richter. So no balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Batullos now sets and will deliver on the 0-1 momentarily. He will kick that front leg and come to the plate, and he will do so for ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Richter. One out here for the Dogs in the bottom half of the 6th, trying to add some more runs to that 15-10 lead. One count. Here is the windup and the pitch. And that ball is hit just past the left, the shortstop who grabbed it, but was far to his right. Left, I'm sorry. No, right. So unable to make the play. So a hit there for the batter for Mohawk Valley in Richter, and now Jake Hardy will come to the plate. And Hardy will come to the plate with 1 out and a runner on first base with a 5-run lead. So Batullos is ready. And here's the windup and the pitch after he looks at the runner at first. Runner takes off. Here's the throw. And he checks it to see where the ball is, and he is safe at second base. So safe on the steal is Richter, and Hardy at the plate now with a 1-0 count. So 1 ball and no strikes here to Hardy. On deck for the Dog is Arias. Runner on second base is Richter. And off the rubber steps the pitcher, Batullos. And here comes the catcher to have a few words with him. So again, first responder night tonight here at the ballpark. Trying to thank all our first responders by giving them free admission to the ball game. So a few folks weren't able to make it today and are listening. We'd like to thank you for all your service and for all you do to keep our area here in Little Falls in the Mohawk Valley safe, or wherever you may be. If you're listening from out of town somewhere, thank you for your service in the communities that you serve. So 1-0 the count here as the catcher returns back to his spot. Batullos waiting for the umpire to write down in his book. And here we go with the 1-0 count to Hardy. So play ball is called by the umpire, and we're good to go. And Batullos will deliver on that 1-0 pitch. Looks at the runner at second base before he delivers. And there's a call to strike one, and the count now even at 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Hardy with 1 out and a runner on. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the windup and the kick now from Batuios. And in the dirt. And the catcher unable to get it, so pass ball, and the runner advances to third. And so runner now on third for Mohawk Valley with a 2-1 count here to Hardy. Again, just 1 out here for the Dogs in the bottom of the 6th, looking to add some more runs to that 5-run lead. 2-1. Here's the pitch. That one misses inside. And the count now 3-1. Three balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Here is the windup and the pitch from Batuios now with the 3-1. And that is fouled off, and the count now full at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Hardy at the plate. Arias patiently waiting for his chance on deck. 3-2. Here it comes. And that is, again, fouled off as the battle between Batuios and Hardy continues here with a 3-2 count to Hardy. Well, 3-2 will reset and do it all over again here. With Batuios looking and picking up his sign from his catcher. Looks like he's happy and ready to go. He's going to set. And he's going to wind and deliver. He does so very slowly. Here's the pitch. That is outside for ball 4. And that is a walk to Hardy. So Byron Arias now will come to the plate for Mohawk Valley with 1 out and a runner on first base.
Number 17 from Dominican University, Byron Arias.
There's Byron Arias going to the plate for Mohawk Valley. Arias walked in his last at bat. And that would do just fine here with 1 out for the Dogs. And here's the pitch. And that one, a rocket past the first baseman. And Arias is going to go to second. And runners now on second and third after the double from Arias.
Now batting for your Dogs, designated hitter number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Frecker.
So Brody Frecker now the batter for the Dogs. Again, still just 1 out, but now runners in scoring position at second and third for the Dogs. So Utica winning over Boonville in tonight's matchup, 4-2. So that's a game that we're closely watching here in Mohawk Valley as the race between those two teams are heating up here in the mid-July month. Pitch gets away from the catcher, but he keeps it close enough. And that one was called a strike to Brody Frecker. So 0-1 the count now with 1 out. No balls and 1 strike. Here comes the windup and the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss, and count quickly 0-2 now to Frecker. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here for the Dogs. And timeout is called. The umpire is going to brush off home plate. It's gotten pretty quiet here in Little Falls as the fans are just hot as we are here in the booth. Energy levels on E. 0-2 with 1 out. Here comes the windup and the pitch. At some point, here it is. Very slow, methodical pitcher. And there is called strike 3. So Frecker strikes out. And that'll bring up Connor Scanlon. Sorry. So Scanlon will come to the plate with 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 6th. So Scanlon at the plate with a runner on second base and third. Looking to bring these runners home with a 5-run lead. Here's the pitch. And there's a big swing and a miss for strike 1. And the count 0-1 to Scanlon. On the balls in the strike here to Connor Scanlon. Runner on second base for the Dogs and third base. 0-1, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that ball hit on the ground to the shortstop. Takes a little bit of bounce on him, but makes the grab, throws on over, and that'll do it for the inning. And the score continues 15-10, 16-10.
Some people might think that the tire shop in Canajoharie only does tires. Nah, that's only their name. The tire shop does so much more. Oil changes, custom wheels, interstate batteries, computer wheel balancing, tire repair service and recapping, auto accessories, tire chains, ag bags, bale and net wrap, and much more. And when it comes to tires, the tire shop in Canajoharie also does so much more. Lawn and garden tires, off the road, backhoe, loader tires, log skidder, agricultural, ATV and UTV tires, and on the farm tire services. The tire shop is a multi-line new tire dealer. That means they're quite a choice for top brand name tires for your car, truck, SUV, semi-tractor, and trailer, all at great prices. They're also a Goodyear national accounts and state contract pricing location. Financing available too. Find more information and a list of services at thetireshop.biz. Thetireshop.biz. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. Yes, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Tire Shop, 155 Erie Boulevard in Canajoharie.
The Oneonta Outlaws is the catcher, number 10 from Seton Hall, Vincent Duffy.
And we are back. Vincent Duffy will lead things off here in the top of the 7th for Oneonta. New pitcher on the mound for the Dogs is Dean Daddio. So Dean Daddio now pitching for the Dogs with a 5-run lead, or 6-run lead. I can't see the number of them. Here's the pitch. And there's a strike, the count 0-1 from Daddio. As a long game tonight for us here in the booth, man. It is hot. We're tired. We're struggling. 0-1. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up to right field. And the right fielder calls off the second baseman and makes the grab for out number 1. And so Daddy-O gets out number 1 here in the top of the 7th.
Number 22 from Marist College, P.J. Strand.
So P.J. Strand now the batter for Oneonta. So Strand, a right-handed batter to face the righty here in Daddy-O with 1 out and a 6-run lead for the Dogs in the top of the 7th. Crowd's starting to fizzle out a bit. It's like it's late in the evening here. This game has taken a long time as the game between Utica and Boonville over. So no balls and 1 strike to Strand. There's the 0-1. And swing and a miss for strike 2 in the count now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to P.J. Strand. So Daddy-O looking for out number 2 here if he can get 1 more strike against P.J. Strand. Here's the windup now in the pitch coming from Daddy-O. Here's the pitch. And gets a piece of that one to Strand. And the count now 0-2 remains. Oh, no balls and 2 strikes. Fans that are basketball fans, we're still on LeBron watch to see where he chooses to go to end his career. Long and drawn out, as usual. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 2.
Third baseman number 1 from Emmanuel College, Stephen Clark.
So Stephen Clark now the batter for Oneonta with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. So Clark will step into the box from the right side to face Daddy-O, who also is a right-handed pitcher. He's got 2 outs, does Daddy-O here with a 6-run lead. There's the windup and the pitch. And that is outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs. 1-0. Here's the pitch. And they're going to check to see if he went. And they're going to say, no, did not go. And they count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Daddy-O sets now. And will deliver on the 2-0. And pulls back on that one as well. On the count now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes here. Stephen Clark, the third baseman, the batter. So 3-0 pitch now coming from Daddy-O. 3-0. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4. And Clark will take his base. So a walk to Clark. And Matthew Mayer will come to the plate. So here is Matthew Mayer, another right-handed batter for Oneonta. This time he'll come to the plate with 2 outs and a runner on first base for the Outlaws, down 6 here in the top of the 7th. So Dogs need 1 more out to take this thing to the bottom of the 7th, and if they can do that, 4 runs will be all they need to put this thing away. Due to the 10-run rule that is in play. The rule is 10 runs, a 10-run lead by the 7th. And helicopter now taking off here, so well wishes to whoever is in that helicopter. It's never a great thing when there's a helicopter flying out of Little Falls, as that is taking somebody from the hospital here in Little Falls to a larger hospital elsewhere. So best of luck and prayers to that family. So 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the pitch by Daddy-O. And there's a call, strike 2, and the count now 1-2. So 1 more strike needed here by Dean Daddy-O to push this thing to the bottom of the 7th. 1-2. One-two pitch on its way. And there's a swing and a miss, and that will do it for the top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 16-10, Dogs ahead.
If you are looking for some shopping and dining, head on over to Canal Place, where you will find quaint shops, galleries, restaurants, and inns situated in the old mill buildings and storefronts along the waterfront of Canal Place. They've become known as the happening place for the arts in the Mohawk Valley. Not so long ago, many of these buildings were working mills serving the garment industry. Even today, after conversion to serve as retail space, many of these rugged but lovely structures speak to our great regional manufacturing heritage. If you're looking for fine arts, entertainment, or antiques, you simply must pay a visit to Canal Place. Hey fans, tell the world you are here at Veterans Memorial Park watching your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Share your experiences, connect with other fans, and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite team. For more information, visit mvdiamonddogs.com or like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
And we're back, bottom of the 7th. New pitcher on the mound for Oneonta, David Denton. Denton now pitching for Oneonta. And Jake Dolan is the batter here for Mohawk Valley in the bottom of the 7th. 16-10 is the score here for Mohawk Valley in the bottom of the 7th. And here is Denton, right-handed pitcher, ready to go. Here's the pitch. And that has popped up foul. And the count 0-1. So no balls and one strike here from David Denton to Jake Dolan. 0-1 pitch. And that one misses high for ball one. The count 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Denton now will wind and deliver. And that ball hit down the third base line, foul. On the count now 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Jake Dolan. Dolan facing a 1-2 count here with nobody out. Here's the pitch. And that's popped foul. And again, the count remains 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes here to Dolan. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one misses for ball 2 on the count now, 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dolan. Here's Denton with the pitch. And it's popped up into right field, and right fielder is there to make the grab for out number 1. So I pop out for Dolan. And Joe Crenshaw will come to the plate. Crenshaw hit a home run in his last at bat. So Crenshaw steps into the box here with a 6-run lead and 1 out. Nobody on. Here's the pitch from Denton. And that one misses for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes to Crenshaw. A little bit of fog looks like coming into left field here. Either fog or smoke. And the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes here to Crenshaw. 2-0 pitch. And that is hit into right center field by Crenshaw. And he's going to go to second. on the stand-up double for Crenshaw. So a stand-up double for Crenshaw will bring up Ryan Payne.
Shortstop number 27 from Fairfield University, Ryan Payne.
So here's Ryan Payne with 1 out and a runner on second base and a 6-run advantage. So Denton looks in, delivers the pitch, and misses for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, bottom 7, 16-10. Dogs ahead. 1-0 pitch now coming from Denton. And that one comes right back at us. A little scare there. That was a little scary. 1-1. That was a little wake-up call for us here in the booth. 1-1. And here comes the pitch. That one sails across for a strike 2 in the count, 1-2. So Ryan Payne facing a 1-2 count here from David Denton. Runner on second base is Crenshaw. 1-2 pitch. That one misses for ball 2 in the count, even at 2-2 now. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan Payne at the plate. Dogs need 4 runs to put this thing away here in the bottom of the 7th. Just 1 out on the board here for Mohawk Valley. Here's the pitch. And that is fouled off, and the count remains 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Ryan Payne, the righty here, facing the righty and David Denton. Harsh Venkat on deck. 2-2. Here's the pitch. And that one sails down low for ball 3, and the count now full at 3-2. Well, 3 balls and 2 strikes here to the batter, Ryan Payne. One of those Fairfield kids, the Fairfield Stags we have in the lineup here tonight. Here's the 3-2 pitch on its way. And that ball is hit hard to left field. Left fielder is there to make the grab for out number 2. Runner will tag up and head to third. So with 2 outs, here's Harsh Venkat for the Dogs with a runner in scoring position at third base.
From Brown University, Harsh Ramayana Venkat.
Here is Harsh Venkat, right-handed batter with the dog on third. That is Crenshaw at third base with 2 outs. And that is popped up by Venkat, fouled on the first base line on the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Venkat is ready at the plate. Benton is ready on the mound, and here comes the 0-1 pitch. Down low for ball 1, and the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike here in the bottom of the 7th. Dog with a 6-run lead. 16-10 is the score. They got a runner on third base with Joe Crenshaw. Here's the pitch. And that is a popped foul by Venkat, and the count 1-2. So 1 strike separates the Outlaws from the top of the 8th. 1-2 is the count. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground to the third baseman. Scoops it up, throws across the diamond, and touches the runner, and that'll do it for the inning. 16-10 score remains. We head to the top of the 8th. Dogs ahead.
Visit the Daily Post and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the Mohawk Valley. Our mission is to generate interest in the area and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today at thedailypost.digital. You'll be glad you did.
Shortstop number 46 from St. Joseph's University, Augie Maslow.
And we're back. Ozzy Maslow will lead things off here for Oneonta with a new pitcher on the mound for Mohawk Valley. That pitcher is Caden Wells. So Caden Wells now pitching for Mohawk Valley here in the top of the 8th. Dogs with a 6-run lead. Here's the pitch. And there's a strike to start things off. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Maslow. Maslow struck out in his last at-bat. 0-1 pitch on its way from Wells. They're going to check to see if he went, and they say no, he did not. And the count 1-1, and Dogs fans and players don't like that call. And the count 1-1 here from Wells to Maslow. 1-1 pitch, here it comes. And that one is hit into right field, and the right fielder did not play that right as that one bounced right over his head, and he's going to end up all the way to third base. So misjudged there by the right fielder. Bounces in front of him and gets over his head. So here's Blake Fortunato. So Fortunato now the batter with a runner on third base here. Here is the windup and the pitch. And there's a called strike on the outside corner. Caden Wells, the pitcher for the Dogs. 0-1 count, has a runner on third, nobody out. A 6-run lead. Here is the pitcher to Fortunato. And that one misses. And the count now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Fortunato. Caden Wells getting a new baseball. We'll step on top of the rubber and go back to work with a 1-1 count. 1-1. Here's the windup and the pitch. Big swing and a miss there. And the count now jumps to 1-2 to Blake Fortunato. Fortunato, a left-handed batter facing the righty in Wells. 1-2. Wells looking for his first out here in the top of the 8th with a runner on third. Here's the windup now and the 1-2 pitch. And swing and a miss, and that is good for out number 1. So Fortunato strikes out, and Venenzia will come to the plate. So here's Alex Venenzia, again with 1 out, runner on third base, and he's going to face the pitcher for the Dogs here in the top of the 8th, Caden Wells. Wells has got 1 out, and he will wheel and deal, and actually before he does that, he's going to step off the rubber. So 1 out here for the Dogs in the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch. And that one floats across for a call, strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike here. Caden Wells looking to get his team to the bottom of the 8th with a 6-run lead. And it puts that one high, but batter swings for it, and the count now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Venenzia as Gus Simon awaits on deck for Oneonta. 0-2, 1 out. Runner on third for Oneonta. Here's the pitch. And just missing on the outside corner, and the count 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes here to Venenzia. Wells looking for out number 2. 1-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 2. So 1 more out needed for the Dogs to get to the bottom half of the 8th inning with a 6-run advantage. So Gus Simon, bottom of the batting order, now will come to the plate for Oneonta with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position at third base. Caden Wells, the pitcher for the Dogs, is set to deliver. And he does so outside and low for ball 1. A 1-0 the count as Simon steps out of the box before he taps home plate, signifying he's ready to go. 1-0. Wells delivers and called strike 1 inside portion of the plate, catches the corner, and the count even at 1-1. A ball and a strike here. Here's the pitch. High for ball 2. So Caden Wells, one of a series of pitchers in this ball game for the Dogs, looking to shut it down here in the top of the 8th and bring it to the bottom of the 8th for the Dogs, hoping they can add some more runs. And that went down low and stopped by the catcher in the count 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike here from Wells. Wells takes a small, short walk back to the mound, takes his time, and he is ready to go on top of the rubber with a 3-1 count. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that's fouled off, and the count now full at 3-2. So a full count here to the batter, Gus Simon, before we go back to the top of the order. 3-2. Wells looks in, grabs his sign, and is going to deliver on 3-2. And puts it low for ball 4. And he will take his walk. And now runners on the corners for Oneonta here in the top of the 8th.
Now batting for the Outlaws, second baseman number 24 from St. John's University, Chaz Wright.
So Chaz Wright, now the batter for Oneonta. Again, 2 outs, runners on the corners here. As Oneonta trying to creep back into this thing, down just 6. But the innings are starting to become limited. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off, and runners now at second and third, both in scoring position, as that was ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. And again, he's going to step off the rubber, will the pitcher, and call his catcher out there, and he's going to come on out. Will Crenshaw. A 1 ball and no strikes here with 2 outs. One and two. Here is the windup and the pitch. And there is called strike one. The count even at 1-1 now. So a ball and a strike with 2 outs. Runners on second and third here for Oneonta. 1-1 the count from Wells. Wells sets, winds and delivers, and that's fouled off. And now the count 1-2. So again, 1 strike away here for the Dogs to get this thing to the bottom of the 8th. 1-2, 2 outs. Oneonta's got runners in scoring position at second and third, down 6. Top of the 8th. Wells looking to get it to the bottom of the 8th with the 1 pitch. Here's the windup and the 1-2. And that is popped foul as the at bat continues here. And a battle between pitcher and batter will carry on. 1-2. Back into the box is the batter and the pitcher. Wells looking in, grabbing a sign. And he's happy with his sign. He can deliver again on the 1-2. And swing and a miss. And that'll do it for the top of the 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Dogs hanging on to that 6-run lead. Back after this.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
And we are back for the bottom of the 8th. Kalen Dempsey will lead things off here for, Kalen Dempsey, the new pitcher in the ball game here for Oneonta. And the bottom of the 8th here for the Dogs. Here is Dempsey now with the windup and the pitch here in the 8th, and that one drops down low for ball 1. A 1 ball, no strikes. (16-10) is the score. Dogs ahead here in the bottom of the 8th. And here's the windup and the pitch by Dempsey. Right back at him, and he almost made the grab, stuck his glove out, and it got all the way out to the center fielder. As Dempsey tried to grab it with his glove, second baseman tried to grab it with his glove, and it ends up in right field for a base hit. So Jake Hardy down the batter. So here is Hardy to face Dempsey. Runner on first base for the Dogs. 6-run lead. Here's Dempsey, right-handed pitcher, against the righty here in Hardy. Here's the windup and the pitch. Runner takes off. Here's the throw. And not in time. He is safe at second. A stolen base. That ball ends up in the outfield. And the count 0-1 here to Hardy. So no balls and a strike here to Hardy. 0-1 count. Here is the windup and the pitch. And it was popped up. And what are you going for? The catcher makes the grab in front of the Diamond Dog dugout for out number 1.
Now batting for your Dogs, second baseman number 17 from Dominican University, Byron Arias.
So Byron Arias, now the batter. So here is Arias as Coach Luby had a little discussion with the umpire. Not sure what it's about. They're pointing down the first base area. And here's Arias now with 1 out and a runner on second base here for the Dogs. Here is the windup and the pitch from Dempsey as he's looking at that runner at second base dancing around. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. The 1 ball and no strikes. One 1-0 with 1 out. 1-0 pitch. And that one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes here to Arias. Actually 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sometimes we got to guess up here because we're not getting the calls from the umpire. 1-1, 1 out. Runner on second base. Here comes Dempsey with the pitch. Down low. 4-2, and the count 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike here to Byron Arias. Brody Frecker on deck for the Dogs. 2-1. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that ball hit past the second baseman, and that's going to allow a run to score. That one gets away from a right fielder, so Arias all the way to second. And now Brody Frecker will come to the plate as the Dogs have added 1 more run, 17-10. And 3 more runs for the Dogs will end this game here in the bottom of the 8th.
Brody Frecker.
So here's Brody Frecker. So Frecker at the plate with a runner on second base. 1 out. Dogs lead by 7. Swing and a miss by Frecker in the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Runner on second, not being held on. That's Arias. And a short lead at the moment. Will start dancing around. The pitcher starts to moving. There's a swing and a miss. And a foul tip, actually, I should say. And the count 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Just one out here for the Dogs. Dempsey looks at that runner at second. Runner takes off. Here's the pitch. And that was hit into right field. And runner's going to have to head back to second base. And he does safely. Now 2 outs with the pop fly to right field by Frecker. So Connor Scanlon now will come to the plate.
First baseman number 9 from Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So here's Scanlon with a runner on second base. And 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Dogs with a 7-run lead, 17-10. And Galen Dempsey, that pitcher on the mound for Oneonta. That one misses by Dempsey, the count 1-0. So Scanlon from Fairfield, the Fairfield Stags, joins us here for the summer. Joined us a little late, but he regardless got here. And is at the plate now with a 1-0 count. And that one misses for ball 2 to Scanlon, and the count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs. And Arias is at second base for the Dogs. 17-10 the score. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that is fouled off by Scanlon, and the count now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike here. As Kalen Dempsey needs 1 more out to get his team to the top of the 9th and give him a chance. Here's the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss, and now the count even at 2-2 to Scanlon. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, so just a strike away here for Dempsey to move on to the top of the 9th. 1 run has scored for the Dogs already. 17-10 is the score. Here's the pitch. That is inside. Ball 3, and the count now full 3-2. So Scanlon reach. Dolan on deck. 3-2. Here is Dempsey with the pitch. And calls. Strike 3 outside corner. Got him. And that does it for the 8th inning. We head to the top of the 9th. Dogs trying to hang on. 17-10. Back after this.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
At Hummel's Office Plus, our customers remain our #1 priority. Hi, Central New York. This is Justin Hummel, CEO of Hummel's Office Plus. If you are in need of a reliable, competitive, and consistent business product supplier, give Hummel's a try. We offer customized pricing, free next-day delivery, and personalized service. With our wide assortment of office supplies, janitorial supplies, furniture, and everything else you need for your workplace, Hummel's is your go-to for all your business products.
The Culinary Academy, Nolan Stark.
And we're back for the top of the 9th and the heart of the order coming up here for Oneonta. It'll be the number 2 hitter, Nolan Stark, the 3 hitter, Vincent Duffy, and the 4 hitter, PJ Strand, all coming up here in the bottom of the 9th with Oneonta down 7. Dogs trying to wrap this thing up. And here we go with Caden Wells on the mound here for the Dogs. Here's the pitch. Outside ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes to Stark. One and 0. Here's the windup and the pitch. And it's fouled off in the count now, even at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Caden Wells looks in, 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Stark, and the count now 1-2. So ahead in the count here is Caden Wells. 1-2 now the count. One more needed here for Wells to pick up out number 1. There's the windup and the pitch. And a little foul tip to stay alive for Stark. Duffy awaits on deck. And following him will be P.J. Strand. 1-2. Caden Wells, the pitcher for the Dogs. Here's the windup and the pitch. And is high, 4-2, and we are even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Wells. And down the middle, drops down. 4-3, and we have a full count. So 1 lone fan on the side for Oneonta. May have traveled here with the team, I'm not sure. Or he's just dedicated. 3-2. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 1. And for the Dogs fans, we still have our Dogs locals here who are standing by here in the heat. And they're still here down to the very last out. As why not, right? Why not watch it to the end? It's been a great game, long game. And they're hoping for victory here for the Dogs with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. There's Vincent Duffy, right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. And there's a called strike outside corner to Duffy. 0-1 is the count here from Wells. Caden Wells, Vincent Duffy, top of the 9th, 1 out. 0-1 pitch, here it comes. And there's a swing and a miss. And the count now 0-2. So 1 more needed here for Caden Wells to get these guys down to 1 out left to seal the deal. Every game matters now as we get into the stretch run here for the playoffs. Utica already winning their game tonight against Boonville. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big game here for the Dogs. Every game down the stretch will be big. 1-2 with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 2, and the count even at 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Duffy. P.J. Strand on deck for the Outlaws. 2-2. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming from Wells. And a little chopper foul as Duffy is not going to go away easily. Flag out there in center field. Little bit of movement, just enough to have the stars and stripes moving along, looking good. Old Glory always looking good out there in center field. And that one is hit to the shortstop, scoops it up, throws over, and that is out number 2. So down to their final out here. Dogs need 1 more to wrap this thing up. A 7-run lead, 17-10 is the score. And here comes P.J. Strand looking to keep things going here for Oneonta. So Caden Wells, P.J. Strand will battle here in the end. Here's the pitch. And down low for ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0, and hit right back up the middle to the pitcher, and that is a base hit as that one went right past the pitcher up the middle for a base hit. So we'll keep going here in Little Falls.
Now that is the Outlaws, third baseman number 1 from Emmanuel College, Stephen Clark.
So Stephen Clark. Now the right-handed batter for Oneonta, keeping their hopes alive here on a late evening here in Little Falls. And that is strike one. It is so late that the 9 o'clock train has come and gone. No more trains departing here from Little Falls tonight. So you're stranded in Little Falls for the evening if you took the train. That one's fouled off in the count now 0-2. So down to their final strike. And that'll put Oneonta on the buses back home. 0-2. Here's Wells trying to seal it here in the top of the 9th. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up into right field. This should do it. And he makes the catch in right field. And that's the ball game, folks. The Dogs win this one 17-10 on a hot, humid night here in Little Falls. I'm Pete Piglero bringing you all the action. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.
We're out on the field and we're ready to play. We're all suited up, we got a game today. We're gonna play fast and we're gonna play hard. Gonna knock that ball right out of the yard. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! We got a guy on third and nobody out. It's time to stand up, yes, it's time to shout. We're playing some ball and we're having some fun. Come on, boys, let's score that run. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! The field and we're ready to play. We're all suited up, we got a game today. We're gonna play fast and we're gonna play hard. Gonna knock that ball right out of the yard. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! 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 Don't just sit there like a bump on